Hi. We have come down finally to the last element of our Mahabhutas, and today we are discussing the most mysterious, the most unknown, the most unexplored, the most untouched element, and that is the sky element, the ether element, or the space element. 6% of human body is composed of this space. We've already been talking about this, that what exists outside exists within us. Krishna even showed it to Yashodama, right? That the entire Brahmand, the entire universe exists within us, and yet we do not explore this aspect of us. So let's understand it this way. We've discussed all the other 4 elements and we've understood. In chakra we'll understand it more. I'll just briefly explain with the help of this tiny paper that I have. So these are the main 4 chakras that exist in our body. There are multiple chakras, but these are the 7 main within the body. We have 1 above and 1 below also. In fact, 2 more above and 1 under, but that we'll discuss when we'll discuss the chakras. As of now, we have discussed that we have these 5 elements, and we know the Mooladhar is the one which is the earth element. This is the sacral, it's the water. This is the solar plexus or the Manipura chakra. This is the fire. This is the heart chakra, which is the air element. Now above these, the 3 chakras, these 3 chakras, which is the throat, the third eye and the crown. These 3 elements belong to the ether or the space element. So that is how important this element is in us. Now, most of us are very comfortable in staying in these lower 3 chakras, right? This is the element which is very physical in nature, right? Some of us do explore a bit of heart chakra also. But these 3 chakras are the chakras or the elements which we hardly explore, and that is because it's the ether or the space which we have still not been able to understand fully, explore fully, or we do not even put efforts to do that. We know that when we send satellites to the whichever place we send, nothing can travel in vacuum, right? If it is the vacuum is there, it'll be sucked. So these, when we send, are actually they're going, right? So that means that the space is not vacuum. It gives you space to it holds space for you, right? There is something within that space that is giving you an opportunity to exist. And that is what is this sky element, the ether element. All of our galaxies, the planets, the stars, all of these exist within the element of ether. And hence this is the most important element that we need to understand. Because all our answers, everything exists within this ether. Now, I will not talk about this element just the way I've been talking about the other element, because this is a special element and one of my favorite. So please take whatever speaks to you, ignore what doesn't speak to you. I am just sharing my experience of this element and how much I understand from whatever I have experimented in my life related to this element. So let's understand it this way. Whenever we hear uh, stories from the ancients, they speak about lot of things related to sky. Like there's Akashvani, there are ETs traveling from the sky, there are things happening from the sky, right? Whether you pick up Greek, whether you pick up Egyptians, whether you pick up Indian Vedic tradition, you'll understand the component of mystery. Whenever there was mystery, it was related to this element, right? Now the Akash is also the place, various cultures, not only Sanatan. I'm picking up references from Greek, I'm picking up references from Egyptians, lot of tradition. They talk about component of cloud. So something like a storage cloud, which is also known as Akashic, and that Akashic having records of each and every human being that has walked on this earth. And that is how we unlock Akashic records. That is how we understand that, law of karma works, because all the deeds, good or bad, that you've done is being stored in somewhere, right? Now, I'm not going into the stories of who's taking the records and all of that, right? I am talking very practically, and I'm talking something which makes sense to us. And so there is this huge Akashic records, or a huge library that we have, and there is somebody who's taking care of all that which is there. Now remember, when we were talking about the air element, I had spoken about thoughts, and I had spoken about that thoughts and the sky element is related. Now all the thoughts that have been ever thought in this planet Earth are flying, or they exist in the space element, because anything that we think about doesn't just go away. Remember, when we were talking about karma, I had spoken about how karma also functions at the level of thought. So if I'm thinking something bad about someone, it is as good as killing somebody. So if I'm thinking about killing somebody in my thoughts, it is as bad as killing somebody physically, even though the degrees would be a little less, but it has been thought, and hence it exists, and hence it's there in the loop of karma, right? Now, so we know that even for our karma, law of karma to exist, Akash element is one of the most important element. Similarly, I was talking about Akashvanis, right? So when you pick up examples, and I'll give you few of them, you'll understand that how this Akash works. So the various examples, one would be Ramanujan, the great Ramanujan who gave us the infinity. He was very bad with mathematics, and then we know the entire story about him. But when he was asked that, can you explain how do you come out with these equations, and he would simply say that, my goddess Mahalakshmi, from my tradition, she comes in my dream, or she comes and she gives me these solutions, these equations, and I have no idea how I get these. And he was made fun, but of course, because they were all correct, so he was accepted, but nobody ever understood that why and how he could manage to do that. And similarly, even Einstein has quoted similar experiences, and so we know about Tesla. These are the people who were able to tap into the element of uh, ether very scientifically, basically from the science field. Similarly, we have a lot of people in the spiritual world, or the see, everything is spiritual. At least for me, everything is spiritual, but just lack of words, we would say that people who are into spiritual world, we do see similar uh, examples there also, that we are able to tap into knowledge that is existing in this space element once you are into meditation, because meditation is the only way to connect to this element. And once you connect to this element, you are connected to the entire knowledge of universe. And all the other elements can be felt, touched, smelled, seen. Basically, they use the sense organs, but when it comes to ether, it can only be experienced, and the experience will not be same for two people. And that is what makes it very, very special. And that is what gets me to the point where we've been talking about, that how one path would not take us to the truth. We have different religions, and we respect each religion, though the answer of all the religion was supposed to be one, and that was the concept of oneness, but of course through different paths. So we'll understand one more thing. When you talk about Buddha, you talk about Mahavir, you talk about saints like them, right? Christ, even Krishna. See, people who have tapped into the sky element, they have these universal knowledge, which is the truth as we know, and they have tried to give whatever truth they have been able to reach to two people. But the consciousness has to be ready to receive what has been said, right? Until unless you're ready to receive what I'm saying, you will simply reject it, right? And that is how we have been brought up, and that is how we've been living a life. Something that doesn't speak to me, I will simply reject. We're not very open. Nobody teaches us this, right? From our childhood, we've been told that, and even if we're not told, we see it and we just follow it. So the element of sky is something which is very mysterious. It has each and every answer that we are looking for, but you have to be open, you have to be able to explore it, and you will not be able to explore it if you will keep following somebody's instructions and experiences. This element gives us the freedom that the journey from the heart to the crown is a personal one. So even when we talk about gurus, the real gurus I'm talking about, I'm not talking about the new age, not even new age, people who call themselves as guru, and I'm not going there, but basically genuine guru, if you have, he can take you to the third eye. And for everybody in this world, the experience from Mooladhara to the third eye is same and one, but the journey from the third eye to the crown is a very, very, very personal journey. You can't, not even the guru and the student would have the similar experience of exploring these two chakras beyond this chakra. and hence you do not even find references in anywhere in any culture, not only Sanatan Dharma I'm talking about any that has explained the experience beyond the third eye. So yes, the element of mystery, the element of mystics, the element of esoteric, the element of people going beyond the physical is the element of sky. That is what they're exploring, and the only way to reach this element, and to not even reach, to even touch, because none of us who has walked on this earth has completely understood the element of ether. And people who have understood the not even understood, I'm talking about people who have experienced the element of ether, they can't even explain to others what it is, because this is beyond words, because this is an element which can't be put. Can we describe love? Can we really explain love? We can't. And I'm not talking about physical or earthly love that we know love as. Experience of ether is similar. It can only be felt, it can only be experienced, and once you experience it, you know that so yes, this is all about element of Akash. And I'll like to add one more thing. I do not know whether you would agree with this or not, but we all, not all, but a lot of culture and religion talk about life after death, and we've been hearing that after the soul leaves the body, it goes to somewhere, and then all your karma diaries or your notebooks are opened, and your all your it's the balancing of it is done, and then you're sent again with all those which you don't need to. So basically it's in the sky that all of this is that exist. Now whether this exists or not, that we will talk about in some other video, but that is also something which is very interesting and very important that we should be thinking about, because that would take us that whether the karma exists, how does karma works, and can there be a way we can come out of karma, because we can, but we need to understand it to even understand that how can we break the cycle of karma, because it's very easy, but it's the process is easy, but it is very difficult to understand. So yeah, this was all about the all nahi matlab, I mean this is a bit about the element of sky and the space and the ether. Bye bye, have a great weekend.